Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Concern Podcast, where we unpack political, social, economic, and cultural stories shaping our world. I am Emmanuel Taban. Now, late last week, on Thursday and Friday, three people were killed in Gogrial County, Gogrial East, in Warrap State, and over nine others were injured. And these people were killed not maybe because they were engaged in battlefield or in a clashes between the SSPDF and the SPLMI or the opposition parties and all these, but it was during cattle raid. I mean, the issue of cattle raid in South Sudan has been a very, very major cause of insecurity. We've seen this happen mainly in the northern parts of the country, where a section of people, like young people, just go with armed weapons and they go and raid cattle from their neighboring counties. And this has been causing lots of insecurity and causing lots of deaths. But I also look at the deeper issue here. I mean, if we look at this issue and we analyze it deeply, then the major question that a normal human being would ask is, why are civilians allowed to own weapons? I mean, in any serious country, there is always regulations on possession of firearms. Not all people in a country are entitled to own weapons. And before you own a weapon, you have to go through a deep background check. You have to acquire a license. You have to be licensed to own a gun. But in South Sudan, it appears as if buying a gun is just like owning a property. It's like buying a phone. You don't have to really be interrogated. You don't have it's super easy to acquire a gun than any other thing in South Sudan. So the biggest question here is, why are civilians, why are ordinary people allowed to own guns if they are not members of the SSPDF or any other security agency or law enforcing agency, or if they are not people who are licensed to own gun? Why are they owning gun? The reason why, and the answer to this question is that these people want to own guns, or they're owning these guns to protect their property. And that property is their cattle. Because they know that the moment they give up their arms, the moment they give up their guns, people from other communities will come and take over their cattle. And therefore, to protect their cattle against such people, they have to acquire guns. And they don't care whatsoever way they acquire it, they will have it anyhow. But why again, if we are to ask, why are these people protecting their property themselves? Who have we entrusted with the responsibility of protecting civilians and their property? In every country, the responsibility, the task of protecting citizens or protecting civilians and their property is entrusted on the government of that specific country. Government all over the world have that solemn responsibility to protect their citizens and their property. In an event where this government is unable to protect the property of the people, in an event where people are seeing themselves losing their property in a blink of an eye, then they are left with no options but to arm themselves, not necessarily using these guns, but other weapons in order to protect them, because the government, which is supposed to protect their property, is not doing their job. So if we look at this issue of the number of deaths and injuries and loss of property that is caused by these cattle raids, and we look at the reason why these people are trying to own these arms in order to protect their property, and we analyze that the reason why these people are protecting their property because the government that is supposed to protect their property is not doing their job, then we will trace down and find the problem of this cattle raid, that it rests on the shoulders of the government. Simply because the government is not doing their job. The government is not protecting the people. The government is not protecting the people and their property. The people are taking that responsibility on their shoulders to do it. And I feel that is one of the major issues that the government needs to realize. You're not just going to, disarm the people when you don't have any assurance of protecting their property. In fact, if the government went to carry out a very successful disarmament of civilians, because it should all be known by every single South Sudanese that we are not going to have meaningful peace if we don't have all these arms taken out from the hands of the civilians and only kept with the military and these law enforcing agencies and people who are licensed to own arms. We're not going to have that peace until this is done. And the government is not going to carry out a successful disarmament across the country if they don't protect the property of the people. So, for us to have a meaningful peace across the country, the government has to step in and assure the people that their property are going to be protected, that their lives are going to be protected. And when the people know that this is a guarantee assurance, they will hand over their guns to the government, because they know they have no reason to own these weapons again. Their cattle are going to be protected. There's no one who is going to come and raid their cattle and take over them, and just their cattle that they have worked hard to bring to that level would just get lost within a very short time. When that assurance is given, then we will see a successful disarmament of everyone, all the citizens and these armed youth groups, and then we can see them giving up their weapons. Until the government provides security to the people and their property, we will continue to see the lives of innocent citizens dying because of these simple things. Where else in the world have we seen that? We have militia groups across the country. Where have we seen in the world that we have people based on tribes arming themselves to the teeth against another? It happens more often and very vividly only in South Sudan. And that is the tragedy with our country. That is one of the things that the government needs to step in and bring it to an end. Thank you so much. This is my take on the issue of cattle raid that happened in Gogrial East, where 3 people were killed and several others were injured. Thank you so much. This is the Concerned Podcast. Until next time, I'm Emmanuel Taban. Before we close today's episode, here's a quick message from our sponsor, Warrap.co. If you've been planning to build a website, but the cost has been holding you back, Warrap.co makes it affordable and stress-free this time around. Whether you are an individual, a non-profit organization, or a business, One.co designs professional websites starting from as cheap as $250. Individuals can actually launch with a starter website of up to 7 pages and a free email, or choose an advanced option with unlimited pages, a professional portfolio, and branding support. For non-profit organizations, they can select flexible packages from basic websites to premium solutions with e-commerce features and ongoing support. And for business companies, One.co delivers company-ready website with hosting, staff training, and multi-link options and online stores. And the best part of it is actually that you can build your dream website within your budget. One.co is an affordable, accessible, and professional partner. And to get started, you can actually visit One.co or email them at info@one.co, or you can get in touch with them through their WhatsApp number at +12265043322. One.co proudly affiliated with Jobs to Apply. And if you're wondering of what I'm talking about, here are some samples of website created by One.co. You can see them right here.